What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What up to all of my friends and family? I see my girl Mika in the building. Mr. Hunter 5150, I appreciate you. Abraham, shout out to y'all. Falafel, Will Nola, A. Wyatt. What up to all of my friends and family? I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. It is Wednesday, April 30th, 2025, year of our Lord. Last day of the month. I want to give a shout out to Mike, that dude on Cash App. Shout out to Trini Life says blessings and guidance king. Shout out to you. My dog Spencer Campbell says have a great show. Thank y'all to all of y'all that support the platform, man. Man, seriously, really thank y'all. I know that I always come on here and I say I appreciate you and I thank you and shout out to y'all and I like to call y'all name and acknowledge the people that's inside of the chat. What's up, Just Montina? What's happening? My girl Mika, Molly is in the building. Kay Cooper, Trini Life, Dan, Jason, everybody that's in here. Shout out to y'all. Yakar, Azriel. You people are awesome. Y'all are truly awesome. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. It really does. It really does. I wish I could do more for everybody. Honestly, y'all trying to have me out here going broke by loving y'all. I truly wish I could do more for y'all. I wish I could do more for y'all. I wish it's J Ben been holding me down. I wish I could really, really rock out with y'all even more than I do. I gotta find a way to be able to do more for people because that's just what's on my heart, and it's my way of showing appreciation. I don't believe in love languages. I know a lot of y'all do, especially my ladies. But if I had to say one, well, I guess the love languages is based off of what you receive, not what you give, right? I don't know. I like to give to people. I really do. I like to donate. I like to give. Um, I guess that's the way that you know that I really don't love money. I look at it as a tool, but I also understand the impact that it could have in people's lives. So I'm always trying to figure out how I can create a way, create an opportunity, figure out how I can add value into people's lives. So, I know that a lot of y'all say that y'all get value from the things that we do on a regular basis, or if you're a bag chaser, if you're a Patreon member, make sure y'all come and kick it with me. Patreon members, DC, June 28th. Let me know inside of the comments, inside of the Patreon, if you're gonna be there, if you're not gonna be there. But yeah, man, I just love people. I love y'all, man. I truly do. Even my Dusties. Y'all like my bad kids. You know what I'm saying? The Dusties is like bad kids because they're the ones that are always trying to show out. They can't really Quentin is a mess. Let me tell you, like, for example, my crazy friend Quentin. Quentin just sent me a cash app of $3.04. 304. Oh, shout out to Quentin. Shout out to Trey D. Hayes. Sent a 50 ball. Said lunch is on him. All right, Trey. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to spend 25 of it on me, and I'm going to spend $25 paying for somebody else's lunch out here in these streets. Somebody that I believe that deserve it. How about that? I'm going to split it with somebody. I appreciate you, Trey D. Hayes. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Banks. Banks in the building. Let me read some of these super chats. Mr. Hunter 5150 said, I appreciate you with the super sticker. Thank you, Mr. Hunter. My girl Mika says, blessed and the best to do it. AD is a blessed day. Mika been rocking with your boy. Mika been holding me down since me and Mika first interacted. I'm gonna bring her out to Detroit so we can make it shake in person and make it do what it do. MP says, what it do, AD? How you feeling? I'm feeling incredible. You know, when the Pistons beat up on the Knicks regularly, we should be up 3-2, by the way. But it's okay. When the Pistons won last night, because I was getting ready for the live stream, and me and Slimmy, my dog Slimmy from Cleveland, and Quentin from OKC, I was watching the game and I realized that the Pistons had beat up on the Knicks again. We actually have beat y'all a lot of times. Like I said, it should be 3-2, but the NBA want the Knicks to win and all of that. But as I seen that happening yesterday, I'm like, man, it is going to be a good day tomorrow. It was a great live stream last night. Good day today. Poor Legacy says you get back with all of the information that you provide. I try, bro. I genuinely try, Poor Legacy. I do. So shout out to my Pistons. You know why I like y'all before I get into the show? And let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Again, I will be at Salt KO. If anybody want to kick it with me Sunday for a little bit of a talk/recording that we're going to be doing with Chicago Flips Red, Chicago Red. I will be at Salt KO. Again, I have to put it on my Instagram and put it on stuff, but I was so enthralled with the Pistons and all of that. Me, my girl Zoe, Danny C, Patrice Stewart, Justin, all of us, we're going to be at Salt KO this weekend in Southfield, Michigan. I'm going to put that up. Also known as the inside of the Radisson Hotel, so y'all can come and kick it with me there. For my bag chasers, don't join today, join tomorrow, all right? Don't join today, join tomorrow. That way y'all don't get hit twice. Bag chasers join tomorrow. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Chris Cunningham says, AD was going to say something nice until you spoke on the Knicks. What, Jalen Brunson? Y'all got the biggest floppers in the league. Jalen Brunson spent more time focusing on doing a head snap than he do on playing basketball. Play basketball, dog. Keep on doing a head snap all day long. LaFleur says, good morning, Anton. That Tiege got ladies throwing the box at me like a UPS worker. You don't want to be a UPS worker right now. UPS workers got layoffs. We're going to talk about it today. Shout out to LaFleur. LaFleur. Yeah. Knicks going to close us out. When? I'm going to probably be at that game. Probably be at the Pistons game. When is the next Pistons game in Detroit? Let me see something. Let me check ESPN. I'll check it in a little bit. Anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest audience on earth. And let me just say this before we get started with the show, because we have a lot of topics to cover. I'm gonna actually cover Tiffany Henyard today too, y'all. Let me just say this before I get started. Um, there are people that have switched up, and when I say switched up, I mean that, and I don't blame them for it. I'm not holding them accountable. I'm not tripping about it. But like, when I have a different political opinion, and there has been, and I'm talking about that actually watched the show, that been in the chat, all of that, right? There has been people that have held me down, supposedly rocked out with me. And then once we transition over into a new subject, or we evolve as a platform and I start being more forthcoming with my thoughts and my opinions, they switch up. They switch up on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that found me at the beginning of this platform, maybe not necessarily the beginning of the show. Some people that found me at the beginning of my YouTube journey, and they've walked away. I guess we all grew apart. And again, I don't think that that's a bad thing. Let's not confuse support with transitions. Let's not confuse support with transitions. I'm the type of person, and I'm so thankful that I appreciate them for the time that they was here and they supported me. That's the type of person that I am. I'm getting at something here. I'm the type of person that appreciate them at the time that they played a role in the platform in my life, when they was showing up every single day, when they was supporting the platform, when they was in the chat, when they was moderators and all of that type of stuff. I appreciate them at the time that they were here. I don't look at it like, oh, they don't not here no more. Oh, they switched up. I notice, I pay attention to different people that are here. I see when people leave and then they come back and then they join the fold. Sometimes people say, oh man, I've been missing out, or I had stuff to do. When in reality, a lot of times it wasn't that they was busy. It was more or less that they just started to find different interests in different things. And I think that that is okay. Two messages. One, for content creators, stop getting mad at people because they have a difference of opinion, or they decide they want to rock out and transition a content, or they grow out of love with your platform. They may fall back in love with your platform, but it is okay for people to have choices. Do better. Do better. No. PJ said, was this recent AD? No, it happens. It happens all the time. It's called attrition. You see people that fall off, and then there's new people that discover you, and some people love you, and then some people fall out of love with you, or they're not interested in your platform anymore because you might have said something that they don't necessarily agree with, so they boycott. It's okay. As content creators, we have to stop getting mad at people that no longer is interested in rocking out with your platform. They have the opportunity to do what they want to do also. It is okay. It's called growing out of love, going in two different directions. It's the same thing in real life. You may have had friends at this time in your life. You may have had people that you was cool with at this time in your life, and y'all didn't fall out. Y'all just went in two different directions. It was a season. It was a season that they enjoyed you. It was a season that they loved you. It was a season that you loved them. It was a season that y'all was really lockstep. We have to stop being so sensitive. We have to grow up. We have to be mature. It is a season, and you have to know when that season is over. I, as a human being, as a person, as a content creator, I am going to be completely different next year than I am this year. The platform may look different. My studio may look different. The content, the way that I deliver the content, the length of the shows, the time that I stream, the background information, I am going to evolve. I am going to do better. We have to stop getting mad at people because they are no longer rocking with you. They are okay. You are okay. We found new friends. We got new people. I got a whole new panel of people that's completely different than the panel that I had at the beginning of last year on After Hours. It's okay. Stop being so sensitive. Grow up. And for the people, they may never see this, or they may casually see it. For the people that used to rock out, that used to be here, because we've grown significantly since last year. And for the people that used to be here that's no longer rocking with me, I'm appreciative of the time that I had with you. It was a awesome journey at that time, and it's just becoming more awesome now. But we just growing in two different directions. I am appreciative. What I'm saying is, I'm thankful no matter what. Life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. You can't bully people into doing what you want them to do. It has to be natural, it has to be real. If you get into a relationship and y'all decide to grow out of love or y'all decide to grow in two different directions, it's okay. Let's cherish the thing that we had, and then let's amicably tell them I appreciate you. Every breakup. Now, I don't want y'all to get confused and think that I'm getting a divorce. That's not what this is. You know how people like to retranslate things and to make it something that is not. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm using this to illustrate a point when it comes to content creation, when it comes to support in general. Every breakup does not have to be messy. It doesn't have to be evil. People don't have to walk away hating each other. Sometimes that's just the end of the road for that thing, and everybody is going to be successful. I want you to be successful. I'm going to be successful. Hey, man, let's stay friends. And if we run into each other again, let's have a drink on me. Have a drink on me. It's cool. It's cool. And y'all, that's why I tell people to live every day like it's their last. Embrace them, enjoy them at that time, for the time that you have them, because it may not be yours forever. And the same thing when it comes to supporters, the same, everybody that has ever went to a restaurant that I've had, everybody that's downloaded the application that I've had, I am incredibly thankful. When I was on my way into the studio today, my prayer was for everybody that has ever, in any capacity, ever supported me, ever held me down, ever watched a video, ever bought a meal, anything that you have ever done, any manager that has ever helped promote me, any job that has ever given me a paycheck, I am thankful. I am thankful for the sales jobs, the steel mills, for corporate America, the banks that I've worked at, the University of Michigan. I am incredibly thankful for all of the old managers that I've always had. I am thankful for you. Today, on this day, anybody that has ever came in and hit a like for the algorithm, I am very much thankful for you guys. You are awesome. In real time, I just want you to know that I love you, I appreciate you, and you have absolutely 100% made me a better person. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am humbled by the fact that y'all played such significant roles in my life. All right? Let's be better people. Let's be great people. And for all of y'all that's still here, man, let me tell y'all, y'all are the greatest people on the face of this earth. Y'all the real MVPs. If it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with y'all right now. All right? So y'all ready to go ahead and get into the show? Lord, bless us to be thankful. Bless us to be appreciative. A lot of times we sit on the internet and we complain about the things that we don't have. We complain about the things that people do to us, but we never spend more time appreciating the things that we do have and the people that has played significant roles in our lives, and to be thankful even for the things that you've already done. We get on our knees and we ask you for things and we petition you and we say, God bless us with this and God bless us with this and do this and do that and so on and so forth. But we need to spend 90% of our time thanking you and being appreciative, understanding that you already know what we need before we ask for it. It's just formality. It's just formality. Thank you for covering me. Thank you for being a great God. Thank you for petitioning God, Jesus, on our behalf. Thank you for salvation. Thank you for growth. Thank you for being born in the United States of America. And thank you for great friends. I love you. I appreciate you. I ask everything in Jesus' name. And bless the people that support the platform. Bless them as much as you blessing me. Matter of fact, Lord, bless them more than you bless me. For every person that is watching this show right now, my true heart's desire is to give them the greatness, show them your love, show them and bless them and give them the character to be able to handle the blessings. Don't just give them the blessings. Don't just give them the money. Don't just give them the success. Don't just give them the love. Don't just give them great relationships. Give them the character that allows for them to be able to appreciate it and to handle it. Because money without character, success without character, relationships without character, it is all for nothing. It'll ruin their life. Don't give it to them until they're ready for it, but please make sure you develop them to where they can have it. Bless them with 10 times what you've blessed me with. All of the love, all of the success, all of the greatness, everything. Give it to them because it doesn't hurt me for them to be successful. Bless every single person that has ever played a role in my life. Even if we fell out, even if we don't see things eye to eye, even if we left on bad terms, even if they don't like me. That's my prayer today. Even if they don't like me, and they don't ever have to like me. They don't even ever have to know that I prayed this prayer for them. For everybody that has ever played a role in any positive way, even if it was just 1%, even if it negatively motivated me to become more successful, I needed that. Bless them. Bless them with all good things. Turn their heart positive if it's negative. If they're in a negative space, flip that over into being a positive space and bless them to be incredibly successful, 10 times more successful than I could ever imagine. Because it doesn't hurt me for them to be successful. I love you. I appreciate you. And I pray this sincerely in my heart in Jesus' name. All right. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. Let me continue to read a couple more of these super chats. And we are going to go ahead and get it popping. Let's get it popping, y'all. Rahi Dash says, ADU Slimming Down Summer is here. Don't worry about it. We working on it. I don't like to talk about it no more. I'm just going to do it. Sister, what's up to my girl, sister? Good day, Mr. AD in the chase. Mr. AD, you may evolve, but you will always be Gordon. Ain't that the truth? I love that. Mr. Lot, my guy. What up to my dude in the building? C. Hayes says, what up, Anton? Keep up the good work. Y'all have me cracking up all the time on After Hours. Stay blessed. That's why we do it. We do it to entertain y'all. My girl Molly with the super sticker in the building. Shout out to Molly. Cooking up on After Hours. So nice. Such a sweet-spirited girl. Car Concierge says, thank you for everything you are, my friend. You are the blessing. Thank you. Pretty Boy 79 says, this donation is for your intentional prayer today. I hope everyone here can move forward into having the same mentality. Be blessed. Shout out to Ogletree. A Ogletree in the building says support. Thank you for the support. Billy Ray Valentine says, I appreciate you. You've changed my life. Hashtag. Shout out to Billy Ray Valentine in the building. I appreciate you also for supporting the platform. All right, y'all. Yeah, that Stairmaster ain't no joke. All right, y'all ready to get started with the show? Time to get into the craziness. First things first, I'm gonna read that shortly, Chris Cunningham. First things first, I want to talk about Tiffany Henyard. So there are news reports that basically say that Tiffany Henyard last year made $347,000 last year. Let me say that again. That is not a typo. That is real. News reports that Tiffany Henyard made $347,000 last year. I don't even know if she got a college degree. So if she made $347 last year, and she's been in office for at least 4 years between both of her positions, even though she got voted out of both of them, that means that she had to make at least 1.2 over the last 4 years. That's nothing to sneeze at. Tiffany Henyard, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go ahead and get into this. You know they like the pocket watch out here. Let's get to it, y'all.
Self-proclaimed super mayor Tiffany Henyard leaves office in the next few weeks after being badly beaten at the ballot box. Questionable spending, clashes with trustees, and an ongoing FBI investigation led to her undoing.
Investigative reporter Ben Bradley broke many of the stories that exposed the issues, and tonight he returns to the south suburbs for a new accounting of Henyard's reign.
I love y'all. There's nothing you can do about it.
The curtain will soon close on the Tiffany Henyard show, but not before one last dance.
Supervisor,
Oh, stop it, man.
Come on now.
Go on, be with
people want to know what's next for you.
You know what's next? Why you out here? Why are you out here?
We were there for Henyard's final food giveaway and a new tally of what she's cost taxpayers. On Easter weekend, cars lined up for blocks. Tens of thousands of tax dollars spent for another one of Henyard's famous food giveaways.
Our last hurrah, and I did not vote for that woman, and I never didn't vote for her before, but I'm gonna give me something to eat today.
I like the giveaways, but I don't like her.
Oh. Oh man, black people are something else. Lord, why did you make us like this with these type of personalities? Who up there was playing a practical joke on black people when they decided that they wanted to make us this way? Why are we like this? Why are we like this? Why are we so outspoken and so matter of fact with the trolling? I think that somebody was trolling in heaven when God gave them the blueprint and said, all right, so we get into the black people. What we going to do with them? I throw a little bit of troll in there, a little bit of spitefulness, a little bit of anger, a little hate, and a lot of rhythm. We're going to give them some trolling, some hatefulness, some reverse racism, some anger, some good rhythm, some rapping skills. For the guys, we're going to get them big D's. Here we go. BBC's for you. BBC for you. Super strength. Got it. Run fast. You got it. Oh, but God, they're going to have a whole lot of baby mamas in 2020 and beyond. Yeah, but, that's what we got left in the box. That's what's left in the box now. All right. Y'all ever did a My Player on NBA 2K? Give them some jump shots. Oh, Jesus Christ.
She's nasty.
She's giving us back what we already gave. But
yeah, we ain't tripping. I'm going to just be honest with you. We don't trip about much because where you beat us, look, let me tell you about the nature of black people, especially black men. Where you beat us in one area, we can always make up for it in BBC. I'm just telling you. Where you may beat us in networking, but I still got my BBC. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that away from me. You can't take it away. I'm still good in the bedroom. That's all that matters. Facts. You may get a better grade than me on your paper, on your exam, on your SAT. But when I take a shower, I feel good in the morning. You got to learn to appreciate the things that God gave you. Sometimes it don't work. Sometimes it do work. Sometimes. That's why I don't complain. God didn't make me slimmy tall, but he gave me a great beard. You know what I'm saying? He didn't make me an A student. He made me a C student, but I got rich. I've learned not to complain. I've learned to appreciate and capitalize off of the things that God has gave me. You have to appreciate the intangibles. There are things about you that is awesome. It is what it is. Life is good.
ain't nobody else doing that either.
Tiffany Henyard does spend a lot of money, some of it on worthwhile programs, but she's also benefited handsomely and questionably. Newly obtained records show last year Henyard was paid more than $347,000 from Dalton and Thornton Township, the two governments.
Thank you for the portion, Onaka.
That's more than Chicago's mayor makes. Henyard's comp includes $280.
That's crazy. Hold on, let me back up for a second.
money, some of it on worthwhile programs, but she's also benefited handsomely and questionably. Newly obtained records show last year Henyard was paid more than $347,000 from Dalton and Thornton Township, the two governments she runs. That's more than Chicago's mayor makes. Henyard's comp includes $282,000 from the township, which also gave her a $4,900 per month expense allowance. And
Wow, that is a perk for your butt, ain't it? So so how was she getting evicted? Why wasn't she paying her rent? Bruh, if you have a $60,000 a year, that's $60,000 a year. You got a $60,000 a year expense allowance, which means that allows for you to cover everything. And you get an $1,100 vehicle allowance. And you making $282,000, because remember when I was telling y'all that total compensation is not just what you make or you take home. It's not your base salary. It's all of the perks, all of the healthcare coverage, all of the other things that go along with it. So you're telling me you get, for the last 4 years at minimum, you got a $50,000, $60,000 a year expense allowance, $1,100 in vehicle allowance, and you get a base salary in the township of $282,000. Plus $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in the Dalton mayor's office, and you can't shut up. We might have to give Tiffany Henyard bag fumbler of last year. Real talk. Listen, the only thing I'm doing is appearing when it's time for public speaking, when it's appearing in order for me to speak to something, a tragedy happened and a police officer got into an accident, a child was hurt, we are announcing a new fund, a new for the schools. Man, listen, if you don't have any businesses or anything that's going on that's making you a lot more money to where you shouldn't have to worry about whatever it is that you're making at your regular job, shut up. Shut up and get to the bag. Before, I will tell you this, and I said it 1,000 times, I'm going to say it again. I didn't even start the alternative platforms. My Anton Daniels channel, the content on that before 2019 was very, very, very corporate friendly. Everything that I did was marketing myself to where it would not affect what happened when it came to me getting to the bag in corporate America, because that was the bread and butter, corporate America and my businesses. Once my businesses evolved to the point to where I felt like I was going to quit my job and I was going to transition, and I got out of the restaurant business so that I wouldn't affect what I was going to say, wasn't going to affect what was happening with my businesses. That's when I started really showing you the other side of who I am. That's when I started having the uncomfortable conversations. But make no mistake about it, the bag is the number one. Forget your pride, forget your ideals, how you feel about everything. Nobody cares. The number one, the most important thing is for you to make sure that you protect and you secure the bag. I had some of the most content-friendly content that you could ever imagine. I was taking my daughter to work day. I was going on family trips. I was showing you the entrepreneurial spirit. I was telling you about making sure that you do things the right way. I was taking you on family vacations, all of that type of stuff. I was exploring, urban exploration. This is what this city looks like. I'm going to go on this trip. We're going to go and show you what is happening over here. What none of that? Nuh-uh. Then that's when we created After Hours. Then that's when we created the Millionaire. Okay, because the Millionaire Morning Show this channel was the original After Hours. That's when you start seeing me. Okay, let me go ahead and pull out the Versace robe. Let me go ahead and put on the Versace glasses. Let me go ahead and show y'all what's really shaking. Let me go ahead and break out some money. Start spending a little bit of money now. Let me show you what's really happening. Then that's when we started doing that. But before that, and not a minute before, it was bag secure time. Secure the bag. We was going to Chicago, showing you the Miracle Mile or whatever it is, the Magnificent Mile. All of that, man. This is a lesson. This is the biggest lesson of all time. Shut up. When you get the bag, when you're starting to get to it, you have to be quiet, do your job, make sure you're meeting expectations, market yourself effectively, as far as making sure that you're having a good image in front of the people. The main thing, the minute that she started doing the Nino Brown impression is when everybody got wind of it. When people start getting wind of it, that's when they start digging. The minute that they start digging, she started getting belligerent. When she started getting belligerent, that was her downfall. Next thing you know, they got the FBI investigating her and she losing her job. Do you realize the chain of events was so bad? It started off as a joke, and it was like, look at this little ghetto ratchet mayor over there because she kept promoting herself. Yeah, I'm the people's mayor. She tried to start a podcast and all of that. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Just be quiet and get your money. Be quiet and get your money. Stop bringing attention to yourself. When the bag is getting secured, you don't start talking about it until after the bag has already been secured and there ain't nothing else for you to talk about. Wouldn't even have been that visible. Is mayors and governors all across the United States of America that's stealing the United States of America blind. They stealing y'all taxpayer dollars. They've been stealing it for years. They've been stealing since stealing was invented. Since the day they got in office, they've been stealing. They passed it on to their kids and they was stealing. They advocated for their kids to become in the same position and they stealing. They running the bag up so heavy and you ain't never heard of them ever. But it's only us. We got to just put the spotlight on us. Hey, look at me. Oh, look. You don't start doing that until after it's conducive for you to do it because it's an opportunity for you to market yourself from a business perspective. But when you getting this corporate money, when you getting this private money, when you're doing all of this, you don't start talking about it. You have never seen a staffing company CEO that was a part of the migrant crisis, whether they was in New York, Colorado, or Chicago. All of these, it's a generic name. It's 8 LLCs that you'd have to track through and then go through a corporate and then it goes through a trust that's managed by a trust that owns that staffing company that was getting millions and millions and millions of dollars on the migrant crisis. You never seen a person in there. You ain't never even seen a nurse. You ain't seen a nurse. You ain't seen a staffing CEO. You ain't seen a director. You don't see nobody. They was just out there getting that migrant money. You had no clue who it was. Brandon Johnson was the one that was on the video. But they was like, that's why they say wealth is silent because they don't want you to know how they got rich. Wealth is only silent when it's conducive for them to do so. Ain't nobody trying to mess up the bag. You drive down some of these gated communities, you look at some of these houses, you have no clue who's in them houses. You don't know what they did. They done did something, created a product. That's why they say wealth is silent, because they don't want you to know that they got it. Because if you knew how they got it, then you would mess up their bag. It ain't because they want to do it. They trust me. Monaco, go to Monaco. That's my next stop. My next stop is Monaco. I have to see it for myself. They say 1 out of every 3 people in Monaco are millionaires or billionaires. They don't even have taxes over in Monaco. It's so much money over there. They don't even start breaking out until they get to Monaco. When they over here, they be like, gated community. When they get over there with their millionaire and billionaire friends, it's like, oh, stunt city. I got the Bugatti sitting on the yacht that got the helicopter and the helipad on it. It's just for show. I'm not even driving it. They be over there at the Monaco Grand Prix stunting. Oh, you got a SVJ? Oh, you got a Revelto, but I got a 1 of 21 over here. They not messing around. Baddies everywhere. Y'all getting mad at Shannon Sharp? Go over there to Monaco. Ain't nothing but young chicks over there. 21, 22, 20 through 30 unless you married. 20 through 30 is all what the women look like because they all with millionaires and billionaires. They all Shannon Sharps, and they got way more money than him over there. They all Shannon Sharps over there in Monaco, and they got way more money, and you can't go. You can't go. You're not invited.
And an $1,100 monthly vehicle allowance. That's despite the fact Dalton taxpayers spent 6 figures on 2 SUVs police used to chauffeur Henyard.
Trustee Gray Everett.
Too visible.
Supervisor Henyard.
And did we mention Henyard hasn't attended a single meeting since she lost re-election?
Shout out to Gas.
Why haven't you been to board meetings since your defeat?
It don't matter no more.
And work.
You don't want to answer? You're still getting paid. Why not go to the meetings?
It just proves that what she was doing was very selfish. It wasn't about the people.
Stephanie Wiedemann worked for the township for 20 years and blew the whistle on many of Henyard's antics.
If she had just said, oh, I made a mistake, everybody would have moved on. We pointed out the mistakes and she put on the show. You know, everybody paid attention because every 2 weeks it was like a sitcom.
Yep, that's true. She's telling the truth.
Y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves.
You the ones that's costing the village money.
Okay. I don't have that call. All right. Okay.
What was she supposed to do? You wanted her to expound? Don't drag out the meeting.
I made a motion.
WGN Investigates has documented first-class trips for Henyard and her entourage that cost taxpayers well over $100,000. There was a stay at a Four Seasons and steak dinners. In late 2023, this was how she explained it.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards.
This was her downfall.
As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about
this was her downfall.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas?
That right there, that killed her whole career. That right there literally destroyed Tiffany Henyard. That interview, trying to be visible, thinking that you're smarter than everybody else, not knowing that they already knew what the word was before you do it. That answer right there, I replayed that answer 30 times in one live stream. That answer right there, Louisiana right here with the wig on, that was an interview that absolutely undid every single thing that she was doing, and it messed up her $350,000 salary plus lifestyle that went along with it and her expenses. That's it right there. Next thing you know, people start investigating what girl got raped on the trip and all of that stuff. Went down the drain. Just never even should have kicked it with him in the first place.
What is that?
No comment.
You don't know if you were in Las Vegas?
Of course I do.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Taxpayers are the ones stuck with the bill. The supervisor and others get unusual perks, including $600 a day for every day they travel out of state for the township, and $400 per day for travel within Illinois, plus the cost of their travel expenses. We asked Henyard's successor whether he agrees with the supersized paydays.
What you make is based upon what you are able to deliver. That's more so saying, like, you know, people believe that professional athletes shouldn't get paid millions of dollars, that doctors should be, or teachers for that matter. So I'm not going to get here and go into a debate about what should be getting or what should be this salary or this.
With what we...
You know why he's saying that? Because now he gets to get whatever it was that she was making. Now he's going to justify. Listen, what she was getting paid was based off of the value that she brings. When y'all elect these people, respectfully, you are electing somebody that is the same. They are of the same cloth. They cut the same way. They're going to do the same thing. If you think that there's going to be significant change in Thornton Township or Dolton, Illinois, then you are sadly mistaken. These people are no different than Tiffany Henyard. They just not as visible as her. That's it. But you think that he going to take a pay cut? You think that he not going to take advantage of the same perks? You think that he not going he going to be like, you know what, let's do this, what's right for the people? You think the taxes going to come down? You think the quality of living is going to go up? We just have less people to report on now. You guys literally just voted in the same thing over and over again.
Been through and how easily we saw it is to abuse the system. I think it's important that the residents pay attention and continue to pay attention and continue to hold people accountable.
Despite it all, the spending, a questionable cancer charity, an ongoing FBI investigation, and even a brawl at a board meeting.
And now that was a cherry on top, so.
Still has her supporters.
I think she's doing what men have been doing for years as far as her security and all those things. She needs that.
She give back to the community, so, I mean, what more can people ask for?
And Tiffany Henyard vows the show will go on.
You told us on Election Day we haven't heard the last of you. What's next for you?
It's a lot next for me. Stay tuned.
Still ghetto, still hood, still doing whatever it is that she gonna do. And refused to humble herself and refused to make adjustments. She the same person as she was when we first discovered her. No different. And she's vowed she's not going to change and she's not going to evolve. But she says that that's not the end of her. So I'm looking forward to hearing what the rest of the story is. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Crazy. Literally crazy. Crazy in real life. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to move over to the next part of the show. DJ Vapors in the building. I appreciate you, DJ Vapors. DJ Vapor says, thank you, AD. I had the pleasure of meeting you and your wife. Since I've been following you for 4 years, I literally have no debt and work for myself thanks to the gems you drop on a regular. Blessings. Shout out to my dog, DJ Vapors. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon tomorrow. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Chris Cunningham says, thank you. I appreciate the value you add. I appreciate you too, Chris. Chase Barnes says, happy Wednesday, AD and peeps. It was great to see AD cooking on After Hours, along with my friends and my co-hosts. DJ Ace Production says, late to class while I'm hanging in the hallway. Let's get it. No, come on in. Sit in the front too. Made over $340,000 and skipped out on her rent is crazy. Chase Barnes says, American black culture, twerking, gangster rap, ebonics, naming your firstborn after luxury goods, gang violence. Did I miss anything? No Gun Network coming soon says, Tiffany H thinks she's the new Bumpy Johnson. My dog Quentin says, where's my vehicle allowance? We sponsoring Quentin to probably go to the 2026 Olympics. He said he don't want to go, but we'll see. Jerome Gray says, y'all act like all politicians don't do this. See, this is one of my dusty children right here. Shout out to Jerome Gray. Gas gods in the building. Too many in the community chasing fame over wealth can't stand when everyone doesn't know they got some bread. That's a fact. That's a fact. They got to let you know, even though it's going to mess up the bag. It's going to possibly mess up the bag, but they going to let you know. Gas guys in the building. I love you, bro. Thank you, my friend. Mr. Robinson says, I wouldn't be surprised if we find Tiffany Henyard on OF. Nah, I don't think she'd go that far. I think she's still prideful. I don't think that she would like if I invited her on a platform today, I don't think she would come. You got to wait. You got to wait like 6 months. 6 months. 6 months to a year. See if she got another position, if she got another job, and then you start to go from there. Listen, sometimes you got to let people go through it, and then after they suffer, they'll come back and they'll be like, you know what? Let me go ahead and go and get this visibility. Got to let them suffer. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. So before we get into UPS layoffs and truck drivers now being required to speak English, Trump visited Michigan yesterday. I didn't have an opportunity to go out and see him. I would have loved to go and see him. However, I didn't have the opportunity to do that because I was in the studio all day yesterday. From sun up till I got here like 6:30, 7 a.m. yesterday. I didn't leave until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's a fact. I got here to this studio. When y'all see me live streaming on After Hours, that's what it takes. I did a review video of a woman today where she said that men look up to men that put in minimal effort but have or showing maximum results, like the live streamers. And I was thinking to myself, if you knew what it took to be successful, if you knew what it took, see, getting a degree and just getting a regular job, if that's all you choose to do, that's small time. From the time 7 a.m. till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning yesterday. After we shut down After Hours last night at 1 something in the morning, I was still here till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I got back up at 6:30, 7 o'clock a.m. And then we got right back to it, and we don't make no excuses. We execute. So for people that think that you just winging it through life or everything is just going to fall in your lap, they are incredibly mistaken. The game is to hustle. The game is the work ethic. The game is the dedication. The game is to get it. And so what people don't see behind the scenes is all of the things that go into what the final product is that you present to them so that you can ultimately change their lives, or you can have a great show, or you upgrading things or you working on things or all of that other type of stuff. And so you got to take care of business. So a lot of people don't believe that the grind is real. So I didn't get an opportunity to go to Trump coming to visit Michigan and speak on these announcements that he made. But the first thing that he did when he got off the plane, when he came over here to Michigan, was he met up with our illustrious governor, Gretchen Whitmer. And this is him getting off the plane. Somebody said I called cap. All you got to do is go watch After Hours yesterday. Why is it always somebody with no profile picture? Biden, they never got off the plane that easy. Listen, you see how they greeting each other? You see how they greeting each other with the presidential motorcade out there? They sat there and they try to act like that they not for Republicans. They sit there and they try to act like, no. I don't like Trump. Nope, it's not our problem and all of that. The smart ones, the smarter ones, I'm not going to call her smart because I don't necessarily care for the job that she did as governor here in Michigan. But the smarter ones play both sides. They do. The smarter ones play both sides. Yep, she ran as a Democrat. Yep, she's a Democratic governor, but every single time she went and visited the White House. Now Trump is over here in Michigan making sure that he announced capital investments that's happening over here in Michigan. 100%. And guess what? Guess who's mad? Democrats. And Democrat women are pissed. I was looking at clips of people reacting. I can't believe the Michigan governor, right after she was sitting next to Michelle Obama and Kamala Harris and was stumping for her on the campaign. I can't believe she went and visited the White House. I can't believe that she's greeting Trump as soon as he gets off the plane. I can't take it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why is she doing this?
Well, I guess they think we're going to save this place. And you know what? They're right. 100% right. We're going to save it and make it better, actually. So at ease, everybody. At ease. Enjoy yourself. Sit down if you can. If those are chairs, yeah, they are, in a sense. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be back in the great state of Michigan. And as you know, we had big victory in Michigan. And I won't forget it, and I'm not forgetting it. And I'm honored to be here at Selfridge Air National Guard Base with the men and women of the 127th Wing of the Michigan Air National Guard. Thank you very much for being here. This is great. It's a great honor, and a great honor for me. We've had such success in Michigan. I want to thank the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who's doing a really great job. The Houthis will tell you that. He's doing a very good job. Major General Paul Rogers and Brigadier General Daniel Kramer of the Michigan National Guard. Commander of the 127th Wing, Brigadier General Matthew Brancato, thank you very much. Deputy Commander Colonel David Spihar, wherever you may be, David. Where's David? Huh? Hello? Hello, David. Where the hell are you, David? Hello, David. Thank you very much. He's like the quiet type, right? But a killer, I hear. Command Chief Master Sergeant Bruce Hedrick. Bruce? Hello, Bruce. Thank you very much, Bruce. Thank you, Bruce. Great job. For decades, they've been trying to save this facility. I didn't realize that. I thought it was just recently because I heard about it recently from some people, including your governor, who has done a very good job. She came to see me. That's the reason she came to see me, by the way, to save Selfridge. And she was very effective, along with some of the other politicians and some of the military people. They love this place. They love what it stands for. all the victories they've had here over the years. So I want to thank Governor Gretchen Whitmer for bringing it also to our attention very strongly.
So wait a minute. I thought y'all said that Trump doesn't work across the aisle. See, this is what they're not showing on MSNBC. This is what they're not showing on CNN. They don't want to have this conversation. They're not going to tell you that he flies to Michigan, that he works with Democrat governors, that he accepts their phone calls. He is not tripping over the fact that Gretchen Whitmer actually campaigned for, worked for, and advocated for Biden and then Kamala Harris to become president of the United States of America. He doesn't trip about it. Not only is he not tripping about it, he's actually publicly thanking her. He's saying, listen, thank you to Gretchen Whitmer. She came here. He's giving her props. She came to the Oval Office. She flew to Washington, D.C. to have a conversation with me about saving jobs over here at Selfridge. There are no feelings when it comes to business. He's making a business decision. He's making sure that he's working with governors and people across the aisle that is willing to work with him. So when you see people like a Jasmine Crockett or a Bernie Sanders or AOC, they are working for their own self-interests. They are not working for the people. Once the elections are over, you got to get to business. You got to do the work. You got to work for the people that's inside of your. And I have to give Gretchen Whitmer, I don't necessarily care for her as governor, but I have to also objectively give a Democrat governor credit for putting down her pride and flying to the Oval Office so that she can save an entire industry. Because let me tell you something, in military towns, if you've ever been to Selfridge, if you've ever been to Biloxi, if you've ever been to these places, they are supported by the entire industries around it is all based off of the support that comes from that particular industry. So it's not just saving the military jobs or saving this particular place. It's saving an entire town. It's saving an entire city. There's 1,000 different, probably 30, 40, 50,000 jobs that is interdependent on this industry to continue to thrive in order for it to be successful. So you have to put your pride down after election season is over. And you can still posture on TV and say, well, yeah, no, I didn't do it for Trump. I did it for these people or whatever, so on and so forth. But the reality is that you got to do what you got to do to work on the behalf of the people that voted you in. And when I see these evil politicians, the Cory Bookers and all of these people that is staging sit-ins and stuff, they doing that for the camera. They not doing it because they actually care about the people. If they was doing it because they cared about the people, they would actually be working across the aisle so that they can fly to the Oval Office, because she didn't just do it for this Selfridge. I believe she also did it for the Great Lakes also, because there's an invasive fish, an invasive species that could possibly harm our greatest and largest freshwater body of water. And so she got to do what she got to do. You can't stand on pride, stand on what you think in order to, what are you talking about? Man, it's people that depend on you. Get across the aisle, work with the people that you're supposed to work with, and take care of business. And Trump, to his credit, he is not holding it against her. He didn't say, oh, no, you stomped for Kamala Harris. You did what you got to do. Nope, he said, nope. This is what she did. She came to the Oval Office. She said, come and take care of this business. She asked me to be able to do this. And so here I am. And I am the most visible president. I'm always doing the things, and I'm doing it, in front of the media. I came here to make sure that the people over here in Selfridge understand that your governor came and petitioned me for it. I would have never known, but I do not forget the people in Michigan that helped me win the election. This is what I'm going to make sure that I do for you guys. If we had a J.B. Pritzker do that, if you had a Brandon Johnson do that, if you had a Kathy Hochul do that, if you had a Mike Johnston do that, if you had these people that were actually amicable and working with the president of the United States of America, we would be much further along. But you got to have all of this opposition, and it's so stupid. The only people that suffer for it is the taxpayers.
And, I'm not supposed to do that. She's a Democrat. They say, don't do that. Don't have her here. I said, no, she's going to be here. She's done a very good job, frankly, and she was very much involved with the Republicans. They worked together on saving it, and it was not easy. So I want to thank you very much, Gretchen. Good job. Thank you. Michigan House.
I don't know how else you can frame it. Two people, opposite sides of the aisle, working together because it furthers the interests of the American people. That's the only thing that matters. All of this other stuff is fluff. It's nonsense. But Gretchen, of course, people wanted to grill her and they wanted to ask her questions about what it is that she's doing and why she is working with Trump and all of this stuff. And so she gave the interview and she had to speak on it. This is what she had to say.
And Governor Gretchen Whitmer joins us now on The Pulse, and it's so good to see you. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you. It's good to be with you.
So, Governor.
Nope, I don't put Gavin Newsom in the same category because Gavin Newsom only bowed the knee because they didn't have no choice because they was looking for funding in order to solve for the problems that was happening with the forest fires and the wildfires out there in California. Right after that, they sued the Trump administration. So Gavin Newsom is a snake. Gavin Newsom don't really care for the people. Gavin Newsom cares about his image because I believe he's going to try to run for president of the United States of America. It's not the same.
Governor, it's going to start with a question that everyone has on their mind, which is you went from that woman from Michigan just a few years back to she's a very good woman. She's done a terrific job. All of these really good superlative compliments from the president. What gives?
I'm that same woman from Michigan, Rube. I don't know. Listen, my job is to fight for the people of Michigan, whether it is in the midst of a pandemic when I'm getting threats or it is trying to get a fighter mission recapitalized at Selfridge and going to the Oval Office to get it done under the Trump administration. My North Star is the people of Michigan, and I'm really pleased that we were able to get this massive investment at Selfridge. It's such a big deal for the Michigan economy and for our men and women in uniform at Selfridge.
Yeah, and listen, I want to talk a little bit more about Selfridge in a moment because that really is what today's big story is about. But because people are so curious and because it matters to people, we're going to ask you the question about this relationship. There's so many people out there who say that these relationships between Democrats and Republicans, we need to repair something here because there just is such a fractured relationship, and we need to do what's best for people. Working with a Republican president like President Donald Trump, what does that mean for you?
Well, it's complicated, right? I mean, I understand why people are curious how on earth did, this come about. But, I was raised in a household. My dad was a Milliken Republican. My mom was a Democrat. I've always tried to cross the aisle. I've worked well with leaders when I was in the legislature on both sides of the aisle. Michiganders are not all Republicans or not all Democrats. They're not all independents. But we are all people who deserve leaders who are doing their best to serve us, to make sure that we can live our version of the American dream right here in this great state. So that's what I've always tried to do. I seek collaboration first. I don't look for fights. I don't back down from them either. And there are important fights that we must have, but where we can get something done, I'm always going to be an eager participant.
Now,
I believe that she is going to make a run for president of the United States of America. I do. I think that in some capacity because she's term limited, so she will now be stepping down from being Michigan governor. I believe that this is one of her pitches. This is one of the things that she's trying to sell, that eventually she'll make a run to try to be president of the United States of America. It's the only other position that she can go for. After being governor, what's next? Well, to pitch herself to be president of the United States of America. And if you don't win, to ultimately try to become a cabinet member of the person that does win if they are a part of the Democratic Party. So that's the next pitch. All of these people are planning the next steps. And so I think that she believes that she has to get some victories, some visible victories to say, hey, I did this. Hey, I went out of my way. I'm willing to work across the aisle. That is going to be the new pitch for her.
We understand that the president is essentially easing up on those 25% tariffs on the auto industry. Speak about that for a moment. That is a big deal for so many of us here in this state.
It is. I remain concerned that there's so much uncertainty. We know that uncertainty breeds paralysis. It's hard to get an individual to make an investment in uncertain times, much less a company that is making decades-long decisions, and that impacts jobs. So I was glad to see a little change in their policy with regard to the automotive industry, but I remain concerned if these policies change daily daily, weekly, or monthly, it still creates that uncertainty. And we've already seen some people be laid off. We've seen consumers' prices go up. And so this chaotic tariff policy, I think, is really damaging. So while today is, a good sign that they're listening, certainty and predictability are really, really important. And the chaos is costly.
What does it mean for Selfridge to have these fighter admissions come in like they did today and this announcement? And is it a complete done deal, or is it tied to any bills that are out there in Washington that we have to wait for?
Hey, y'all, Reggie Woods in the chat, he really, really, really wants y'all attention. So can somebody please give Reggie Woods some attention in the chat, because I like to interact with the chat. I like for people to participate in the chat, but he's really needing y'all attention. Like, he's reaching far, far. So because he wants that attention, and he's trying to say different things so that he can get some visibility. Can y'all please, can everybody in the chat actually acknowledge, say, Reggie, we love you. And you need to make sure that you keep your helmet on, okay? Shout out to Reggie Woods from Room 9 inside of the chat. Everybody give Reggie Woods from Room 9 inside of the chat a round of applause. There you go, Reg. You got our attention. Okay, Reggie. There you go, baby boy. Okay, Pumpkin.
No, the president said it's a done deal, and I'm going to take that to the bank. We know that the A-10, which is the primary fighter mission that we have at Selfridge, is scheduled to be retired. They're just phenomenal planes, but they are being retired. And there had not been a decision to recapitalize, and so we were really worried about Selfridge. Selfridge is the linchpin to so much of our defense work and our aerospace industry that is growing, advanced manufacturing. It's the linchpin to Alpena, Grayling, and Battle Creek, the other bases that we have. And so this was a really important thing. It's why I've been working on it. Every year I've been governor trying to get this recapitalized. So this announcement today of 21 F-15EX.
Sometimes you have to give people, some visibility, and then they'll be happy with themselves, and they got the attention of the class. And so it's another guy in the chat that really wants the attention of the class also. Let me see if I can find him. Give me a second, big dog. I got you, big dog. I'll see if I can find it.
This is the most cutting-edge plane. It is going to be flying out of Selfridge in Macomb County, Michigan, and it will secure, it's like a generational investment that will be secured because of it, and will continue to grow our aerospace sector. So this is great news, not just for us today, but for Michigan for the long term and for our economy writ large.
When you know that this has been something that's been efforted for so many years by Senator Gary Peters,
old man R right here. He should be taking his medicine. You know what I'm saying? Look, bro. Go get your A1C checked out. Go ahead and get a colonoscopy, whatever they call it. Get all of that done. Go, bro. You got to go and get your checkup. Make sure you get your meds. You know how they used to have, my grandmother used to have this med box where it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we would have to go in and make sure that we put all of her medication in. You got to go get your A1C checked out, bro. Like, the last thing you should be worried about is what's happening over here. All right. So everybody give R a round of applause from Room 9. R Tard. Everybody give R some attention also. He wants y'all attention. He really, really wants y'all to acknowledge him before he go to his doctor's appointment to get his A1C checked out.
Yourself, by Candace Miller, so many. Why now? And did you give credit to President Trump?
Absolutely. I think the president, my first conversation with him after his taking office and in this term, I brought up Selfridge when I was at the White House for a black tie dinner back in February. I talked to Secretary Hegseth about it. I talked to President Trump. I sat at his table. I've had many meetings with him since, as well as phone calls, and every time I'm promoting Selfridge. And it's not just that conversation, but I think that was impactful, and they took a serious look and saw what a compelling reason it was to make sure that this investment happened in Macomb County, Michigan.
Governor.
So let me give a little bit of a round of applause objectively to Governor Gretchen Whitmer and Trump. for working together to preserve jobs and to allocate investment over the Selfridge, as well as helping to protect the Great Lakes. I don't necessarily care for her, but I have to give credit where credit is due. She did a good job on this one. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read a couple of the super chats, and then anybody else need attention? Shout out to Precious Precious HCS. We appreciate you for supporting the platform, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to everybody that's supporting me on Cash App. I'll read those shortly, all right? Let's go ahead and get into the next portion of the show. Trump, since we're on the subject of Trump, we might as well stay here, and then we're going to move over to UPS layoffs. Trump was actually pressed. Can you believe it? Pressed on tariffs and Pete Hegseth, and he made himself available for another interview, which I know that that's surprising to y'all. Listen, you're used to politicians only going on platforms that support them, only going on platforms that they agree with. You'll never, ever see a person from a Democratic platform head over to a Fox News or a conservative interview and have a conversation with somebody that, they may not necessarily care for. Even Biden. Biden never made himself available to the press like this. But Trump was recently sitting down with ABC for an interview inside of the White House, and he let them grill him. Listen, J.D. Vance and Trump has been doing layups around the media, and they have no problem with taking questions from people that think differently than them. But this was him getting pressed at an interview. I have not watched it yet, so we're going to observe it together, and we're going to see what he has to say about tariffs and Pete Hegseth.
We begin tonight with the ABC News exclusive. Today marks President Trump's 100th day in office. And tonight, our Terry Moran sitting down with the president in the Oval Office. Terry asking the president about his tariffs, the economy, immigration, the war in Ukraine, and how the president answered when Terry asked if the president still has confidence in his defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, after those two group chats using the Signal app discussing military plans involving Yemen, U.S. military jets, and their timing. One of those chats included his wife. The president facing an historically low approval rating at the 100-day mark amid concern in this country over the president's tariffs and higher prices, fears of inflation. Tonight, our first look at the primetime interview that airs tonight, Terry asking the president about his advice to Americans to hang tough and what that meant when it comes to the economy.
Well, you said something a couple weeks ago that struck me. You said concerning the tariffs, which economists say are going to raise prices, you said, quote, hang tough. Yeah. It won't be easy. You said that to the American people. Is that what Americans should expect, some hard times?
I've said that during my campaign. Look, we won a campaign by a lot. We won all 7 swing states. We won the popular vote by a lot. We had a tremendous campaign. I said all these things during my campaign. I said, you're going to have a transition period. We've been ripped off by every country all over the world. They're laughing at us. They thought we were stupid people, and we were. And I said, that's not going to happen. We're not going to let that happen.
Hard times are ahead?
I don't think so. I think great times are ahead. Look, since I came in, gasoline is down, groceries are down, egg prices are down, many things are down, just about everything. You don't have the drop in fuel and energy and oil like we did. I took it from maybe $3.20, maybe more than that, down into a much lower number. When you have that kind of a drop, you're not going to have inflation.
Not now, but it's the tariffs, right? We still have 145% tariffs on China. Your Treasury Secretary said we basically have an embargo on China.
Look, you're trying to say something's going to happen.
Why, when people interview Trump, it's almost like a debate instead of it actually being an interview. You're supposed to answer the question or allow for him to answer the question fully, and then ask another question, or you can ask a follow-up question, or you can start to press them a little bit more. But the thing that I hate, the thing that I absolutely despise, and I don't even like it when it came to Kamala Harris, even though she didn't allow for anybody to really press her, her people was very adamant about that, is why don't people let them answer the question, but they always want to continue to try to cut Trump off? I still don't think that he gets the respect that he deserves. He's right. Prices are lower. Prices is down. The same thing that he came into. We know that they were saying it was a bird flu and they had to get rid of a whole bunch of chickens and all of this stuff. And people, oh, no, because watch egg prices. Egg prices is low. Gas prices is lower. Inflation is down significantly. And so why don't people acknowledge that? Why is down significantly? Gas is $2.74. Where you at? When the last time we had $2 gas? When is the last time that we had $2 gas? I don't even remember the last time we had $2 gas. How has your life been affected negatively in the first 101 days since Trump has been in office? What prices are high, Jerome? What prices are high? What prices are you paying that's high? Jerome, what prices are high? What are you paying higher prices on? Tell me what it is, because I haven't seen it. Some people will say that I'm so far removed, so I don't understand, I don't get it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Which prices are you talking about that's super high? $284 in Tampa? That's pretty good. Energy prices is high? When? Y'all just be talking. What energy prices is high, Jerome? Y'all literally just be talking. Y'all just be talking. The prices are not high. $2.49 in Jackson? Interesting. Eggs high, food prices high, says life-changing vibe. All right, well, let me look it up. Maybe you're right. And how many eggs are y'all eating every day? Kroger eggs is $2.89. If you want to get the big pack for the extra large eggs, you can get it for a little over $3. If you want to get 180 eggs, it's $60. $4.22. Grade A cage-free large eggs is $4 at Walmart. $3 for Eggland's Best. For extra large eggs, $3. Where y'all paying all of these crazy egg prices at? What kind of eggs y'all eating? Y'all must be eating pterodactyl eggs. Where are all of these super expensive eggs at that y'all talking about? And eggs is $3.99 over there in California, Danny. How many eggs are y'all eating every day? $305 in Charlotte. Your electric bill dropped at least $80 this month. Shout out to you,
No. Okay, well,
Nothing's going to happen.
You know business. I want to ask you.
I do know business.
Yes, so 145% tariffs on China, and that's good. Basically an embargo.
They deserve it.
It'll raise prices on everything from electronics to clothing to building houses.
You don't know that. You don't know whether or not China's going to eat it.
That's mathematics.
China probably will eat those tariffs, but at 145, they basically can't do much business with the United States. And they were making from us $1 trillion a year. They were ripping us off like nobody's ever ripped us off. And by the way, we have other countries that were just as bad. If you look at the European Union, it was terrible what they've done to us. Every country, almost every country in the world was ripping us off. They're not doing that anymore.
The president there on his tariffs during this wide-ranging primetime interview tonight. Terry also asking the president about his defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, and whether he still has confidence in him. Here's what the president said.
I want to ask one question about Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. There's a lot of turmoil at the Pentagon right now. There's the signal chat with his wife on it where he's discussing that attack in Yemen. There's another signal chat discussing the attack on Yemen. There's a reporter accidentally involved. You said the other day that you had a talk with the secretary. Did you take him to the woodshed?
What kind of question is that?
And whatever I said, I probably wouldn't be inclined to tell you. But we had a good talk. He's a talented guy. He's young, he's smart, highly educated, and I think he's going to be a very good hopefully a great defense secretary, but he'll be a very good defense secretary.
You have 100% confidence in
I
Pete
don't have
Hegseth.
100% confidence in anything. Okay, anything. Do I have 100%? It's a stupid question. Look,
it's pretty important.
I have no.
It's a stupid question.
You don't have 100%. Only a liar would say I have 100% confidence. I don't have 100% confidence that we're going to finish this interview.
We will.
Of course, the interview.
I don't have 100% confidence that we're going to finish this interview.
We will.
Of course.
I don't even know why Trump makes himself available to these reporters that are on the opposite side. I don't. To be that arrogant and to sit in front of somebody and tell them, yeah, we will. That's crazy. Trump has the patience of Job, honestly. Like, to be granted an interview and to be that repulsive in the interview is just disrespectful, if you ask me.
Of course, the interview did continue. You did finish it. The president was, and we should point this out, willing to answer a multitude of questions here. Let's bring in Terry Moran. He's live at the White House tonight. Terry, of course, I read through the entire transcript. You asked about the economy, immigration, the war in Ukraine. You asked about Elon Musk and Doge, the federal cuts. This is a wide-ranging conversation tonight.
It sure was, David. We covered a lot of ground. As you say, the president was really eager to talk about immigration, his efforts on the border. That's something that he considers a big success. We also talked about Vladimir Putin and whether or not President Trump still trusts him. And we got a rare look inside the Oval Office that he has really transformed. It was fascinating.
We look forward to it. Terry Moran live at the.
So Trump is again making himself available to everybody in order to answer these questions. I don't think that we've ever seen any president be this visible and be this accountable and be willing to let reporters ask him any questions, regardless of what side of the aisle that they're on. He has no problem with clapping back at a lot of these reporters, and I think that he's doing a phenomenal job. As I outlined in the live stream that we did yesterday about his first 100 days in office, I think that Trump is doing an incredible job. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's talk about these UPS layoffs. But I'm going to read these super chats first, and then we can get into the UPS layoffs, all right? Let's see what we got here. David, shout out to David Bazil, says, what up, Anton? Today is my 33rd birthday. I recently joined the Bag Chasers. Great way to end the month of April. Hey, man, you so young. You got so much runway ahead of you. Some people are going to start to say, oh, man, you old. Oh, man, you getting older or something. It is a blessing. At 33, when you start to really, really catch your stride, that's when most guys start to really catch their stride. When they in their early to mid 30s, that's when you start putting it all together. It starts to look beautiful. But don't break out yet. Don't break out yet. Stay down, stay focused, keep your head down, live the rest of your life like the best of your life. Jerome Gray, thank you for the super chat. Said, boy, he called me boy. Today's stock market recession coming soon. I don't know what that means, but okay. T Dot says, Anton, I love you and you love Trump. However, it seems you avoid doing live coverage or special events. Inauguration event, swear-in. Now he was in your city. Why? Not even crowd work? Listen, family, let me tell you something. Nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody in this world, including my own wife, is above the work that I've already designated myself to do. Listen, I love Trump. I think he's awesome. I would love to do crowd work when I have the availability to do it, but I'm sorry, I had other things that I had to take care of. I run more than one company. I have a whole real estate arm. I have a property development company. We're developing a new app, and we had to get some other developers on a call yesterday. We're seeking other sponsors, and so, I would love to do crowd work for you guys, and maybe I'll have the opportunity to do so in the future. But on such short notice, we had to spend our entire day yesterday inside of the office, the entire day inside of the office. So I'm sorry, T. Dot, but I wasn't able to get out there yesterday. Maybe next time. Aaron L says eggs were $3 pre-pandemic, pandemic $12 now $6. $6? Where are you at? $6? Nate says 87-cent gas in 2020 right after 87-cent gas. Y'all said 87-cent gas? Where? Bro, I ain't seen 87-cent gas since 1992, big dog. Dakota says sound going in and out, AD. Y'all might have to leave and come back in because I don't think it's on my side. Victor Williams says people just be lying to be fake victims in the chat looking like a smooth brain chicken little. Facts. AD, they are headliner believers never reading. I agree, Abe. National egg price is currently at $3.25, down $2.89, down 44% since the start of 2025. Via tradingeconomics.com, only still high in Dems talking points. Thank you, and thank you for even citing your sources so people can't fight against us. Courtney Yeager Show says, what's good, AD? I got a chance to chop it up with your boy Jay Ben. Solid guy, man. Real talk. Jay Ben is that guy. Jay Ben is my guy. Shout out to the Bag Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon tomorrow. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Yeah, y'all might have to refresh. You might have to refresh if you're having problems with the audio. Victor Williams also says egg prices are down, gas is down, and Lib's brain capacity is down. Shout out to you, Victor Williams. I also want to acknowledge Chip Burner. Chip Burner says AD stupidity is on a rise and it's very high. I feel you, bro. I absolutely feel you. All right, y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Quentin Q Diddy says Oklahoma during the pandemic, it was under $1. That's what's up. All right, y'all. Y'all ready to tap in? Y'all ready to get to these UPS jobs? Let's talk about it. Layoffs. Over 20,000 workers at UPS is supposedly being laid off. Over 20,000 workers, I thought that was something else. Over 20,000 workers are allegedly being laid off at UPS over divesting themselves and separating themselves from doing business with Amazon over some certain things. But let's get into it, y'all. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
UPS, in our view, is and has been doing the things to kind of restructure its network to deal with the realities of their business and how much it's changed over the last couple of years. And they're also focusing a lot more on revenue quality. So that would mean trying to win more share of small to mid-size shippers. Also, you noted they're kind of gliding down, if you will, their exposure to Amazon, to some of their businesses. That just doesn't make sense. I mean, they're still going to do returns for Amazon, which is a good business for UPS from a margin financial standpoint.
Hey, Lee, what kind of visibility does UPS have on their revenue stream? Like, how much is contracted versus how much is just me walking up to a store and, shipping a package across the country?
That's a great question, Paul. I think the reality is that they have somewhat a decent visibility into their business a couple weeks out. I think that's really about it. That's just really because it's their customers are really driven by economic activity, and it's really tough to kind of really gauge those volumes, especially in the current environment, given the uncertainty driven by tariffs, which is why earnings expectations for the second quarter will probably start moving lower as sell-side analysts adjust their models.
One of the things that UPS also has to adjust for is, and I actually went and looked at their numbers. You know how we do it inside of the Patreon, because I always try to look at different industries. I would not advise personally. Well, let me revise what I'm about to say. I do not advocate for anybody to it. Let me revise that once more. I am not interested. I would not invest my money based off of the 8 things that we look for inside of the Patreon. As far as companies that we invest in and the stocks that we then take place or take as a part of our portfolio, I would not invest in UPS. They have a lot of legacy costs. They have a lot of union labor that is going to impact their bottom line. That's one of the things that people are not taking into consideration. They're highly dependent on the industry, and I think that the UPS, along with Amazon and FedEx and other shippers, DHL, all of those places, I think that in the coming future, within the next maybe 18 to 24 months, you will see a transformation in USPS, the United States Postal Service. I believe that ultimately there will be a lot of, I don't think that it's going to fully go private, but I think that a lot of the business, a lot of the work, a lot of the legacy costs that come along with the USPS will be privatized in order to cut costs for the federal government, because we do subsidize the USPS, United States Postal Service. We cannot let it fail. And there's a lot of protests right now because even they anticipate some level of privatization over at USPS. So I think that they're going to be bidding on those contracts. I also believe that they're trying to divest themselves against somebody like an Amazon, which Amazon uses other retailers, other shippers to deliver packages that they sometimes can't deliver, even though they have a huge level of infrastructure that allows for them to be able to run a company the way that they run it. One of the things that makes Amazon so beautiful is that they care more about market share than they do about profitability. Amazon cares more about market share than they do about profitability. Well, what does that mean, Anton? That means that they are willing to run parts of their business with such a razor thin margin so that they can bolster the market share that they have within an industry that would then long term allow for them to be able to be more profitable as a company. Okay, well, I'll give you an example. So when you go buy a product from Amazon, right, and you do FBA, so fulfillment by Amazon, or you buy your soap on there, or you get some products delivered, you buy your ring light or something like that. When you buy a product from Amazon, right, they are still trying to be competitive with the Walmarts, with the Targets, with any shipper. They're trying to be competitive and make it more convenient for you to get the products that you want quicker and at the cheapest price, which means that then cuts into their margins. Okay, well, how do they make money? Well, they make money by leveraging the things that they've built and the infrastructure that then allows for them to then be able to spread their wings in other parts of their businesses. So what people don't know is that Amazon also has different segments of the business. And this is one of the things that we break down inside of the Patreon. I'm not going to talk about it today, but I'm just going to gloss over it to illustrate my point. When they do their earnings calls, right, every quarter, because every company does earnings calls every quarter. When they do their earnings calls, they're having conversations not just about market share. They're having conversations about profitability in different segments of their business. So AWS is the driving factor for what success looks like at Amazon. And so because they're so profitable with Amazon Web Services, which is the platform that they then leverage to generate a lot of revenue when it comes to cloud infrastructure, other companies hiring, and then Netflix keeping a lot of their library inside of there. They keep their library inside of a lot of different cloud service providers. But when you see a Netflix, when you see these places keep a lot of their services inside of it, that is one of the driving factors for what success looks like inside of Amazon Web Services. So what does that mean for their competitors? That means that they can basically operate at a razor thin margin. Their stock price is still going to go up, but it makes it more difficult for a UPS, a USPS, a FedEx to compete against an Amazon, because where they're great, they're being funded by and subsidized by other parts of the business where they're looking to have growth here and then looking to have profit there. So growth and profitability is automatic for Amazon Web Services, for AWS, because they are the market leader in that, and their only main competitor, their closest competitor, is Microsoft Azure, right? So they're competing for government contracts. They also trying to entice different businesses. As you have a lot of AI spun up and a lot more web companies coming up, then technology-based companies are going to need to leverage some form of Amazon Web Services, because again, they are the market leader. But that allows for them to be able to compete against the USPS. Why? Because a UPS and a USPS are interdependent on you shipping packages in order for them to be profitable. They don't have other segments of the business that they can depend on, and so they are subjected to whatever happens inside of the industry. If people are shipping less packages, if the union members then go in and they protest and they paying drivers a lot more money, then they have to eat that cost and they have to find savings in other parts of the business. They have to spend more money on automation. They got to get rid of less workers. They got to use more infrastructure. When they have a fleet problem and they got to replace their trucks, they have to take on that investment themselves. And they are not subsidized. And they have to have price wars with other shippers to have things delivered to your door directly. So they may even be doing business with Amazon. Amazon may have an offshoot of products that is delivered by USPS or UPS. Have y'all ever had a USPS worker deliver Amazon package? They may subsidize some of that to them, but then when they get enough infrastructure, when they get enough leg room, when they have enough foot presence inside of a particular city, guess what? They don't have to continue to do business with USPS, which was dependent on Amazon in some segments for them to continue to be successful. So now when you start to see people laying people off, when you see them laying off people over at Amazon, over at UPS, because of all of these other factors that they can't absorb costs on, well, that is the difference between an Amazon and a UPS. Amazon have different segments of their business. They are diversified. They can lean on AWS in order for them to continue to make money and be successful. And believe it or not, Andy Jasper used to be the AWS leader. He used to be over AWS over at Amazon, and he became the successor of Jeff Bezos to run the day-to-day operations of Amazon as a whole. But when you see a UPS and they're suffering or they have to start laying people off, it is directly tied to their competitive footprint inside of the shipping business, because they are interdependent on it for them to be successful. If no more packages get shipped, if people start to cut back, well, then that starts to cut into what is happening as far as their profitability over at the company. Amazon can do the same thing that Walmart did to smaller retailers and mom and pop shops to the UPS. They can. They absolutely can. They can operate at a loss. They can basically have parts of their business be loss leaders so that they can take market share and crush their competitors. 100%. 100%. Absolutely. They can sell products or they can ship products to you faster while continuing to leverage research and development to make their processes easier. They're going to be less dependent on workers. They're having more robots. They buying up companies so that they can make things faster, easier, more accurate, and they can sell things at a loss to take market share from you. Absolutely. And they don't care because they care more about market. The market for them is going to react to market share versus profitability because they're not worried about them being profitable in certain segments of the business.
But in theory, if we put aside the macro for a second, I appreciate you said 2/3 of it is macro.
I use Azure
But the
also.
Amazon stuff is a good thing for them long
I
term,
use a
right? Even though there's
combination
near-term
of
pain,
different,
like those are lower
cloud
margin
platforms.
packages that they don't want to do anymore. They're going to focus on higher margin.
Absolutely. Amazon uses gig drivers also. So they don't want to be responsible for the people that actually ship the products and deliver the products directly to your door. So now what they do is they contract that out. You can go and open up your own Amazon business, your own delivery business, and then you basically become a gig worker instead of a direct employee, which it is up to you how much you deliver, and that then substantiates how much you're going to make. You got a certain quota to hit. If you don't meet that expectation, well, you get removed and they get another gig worker to then take your place. Whereas UPS, they have to pay union wages to their UPS drivers. And that is also something that they use as a competitive advantage. You are absolutely right.
Packages that could wind up being much more stable and profitable, right?
Yeah, and I actually, said 95%. So I was a little more focused on, us thinking that the majority of the shortfall in the 2Q is really the macro. But yeah, to your point, they are really they're really focusing on revenue quality. They mentioned on the call that
revenue quality. These are just terms that they try to use to confuse you. Revenue quality is basically they want to have more profitable segments of their business. They're less concerned with quantity and they're more concerned with quality. If I can increase the margins, the amount that I make per item shipped, then that will be better for the business's bottom line than just having a bigger footprint inside of the United States of America. If I can sell less products at a higher margin versus more products at a very, very small margin, then that means that we have better revenue quality. All right, that's what they mean.
some of their business out of Amazon's fulfillment centers just really wasn't profitable for them. So it obviously doesn't make sense to take that business. And if they're able to create capacity by getting rid of some of this business and filling it with what they call SMB, small to mid-sized businesses, that's just going to be a good thing for its margins overall, and it'll allow them to generate the kind of returns that they can reinvest in their network. Because while they're doing a lot of investing in now in automation, and they're closing some facilities just to be a little more nimble than they were in the past, they're still going to continue to have to make those investments because technology continues to change, and those benefits will need to be driven by those investments.
So 20,000 workers is being laid off by Amazon as a result of them divesting themselves and trying to adjust to the market. I'll keep you guys up to date, and I'll let you know exactly where that's going to be impacted. And then obviously we're going to talk about this type of stuff on Stock Club. So make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. Do not join the bag chasers until tomorrow. All right. I want y'all to join at the beginning of the month. The beginning of the month is the best time of the month. Don't join at the last day of the month unless you're paying for the whole year. All right. Join at the beginning of the month, not the end of the month. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me go and read some of the super chat so that we can move over into the next part of the show. This is a great show today. Lots of knowledge, lots of game. Nate says gas was 87 cents on 7 Mile just east of Van Dyke. That must have been a special. You was getting gas over there on the east, 7 Mile in Van Dyke? Oh, you a brave soul. Let me go ahead and show y'all what 7 in Van Dyke look like. You're a brave soul. Did you get that at night? You was on the east? Heck no. You was over here, big dog? I know this area. You was over there at this Citgo? You're a brave soul, big dog. You're a better man than me. I seen some Hebrew Israelites over there across the street from that liquor store. Nah, dog. Across the street from the liquor store? I said, nah, we're going to go ahead and pass up on that one. Right here, big dog, you was over here? Got the liquor store right there. The income tax check place over there. You went to the Citgo right here? Ah, dog, you're a better man than me. Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. Nah, you got it. You got it. There's still some places that need to be improved in the city before Anton can Nah. I'd rather pay $3.87. You can have the savings, bro. Nah, we good. We good. You good. Sometimes it ain't always worth it to get less. I know, Chris. I know, Chris. And stay your ass from over there. I told you about that shit. I told you about that. You can't go back over there. No more of that. Anyways, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel with 20 notifications. Let me read a couple of more super chats and then we're going to get it popping. Craig G says, today my 34th birthday. Married, no kids. Been on my purpose for 4 years. Shout out to the Bag Chasers. Thank you for all of the content. Shout out to you. Jim Short says, FedEx Express Fleet Service Tech here. There have been movements here as well. FedEx is consolidating all of their subsidiaries, ground, office, freight into one entity to cut back on blow. Facts. I know. Jim Short says, purely anecdotal, I believe FedEx is wanting to move to a gig worker fleet of couriers because of the increase in ground leadership moving into Express. It saves them a lot of money. It saves them a ton of money. Hey, Anton, happy hump day. What up, Toya? Toya, am I going to see you at the meetup? Am I going to see you at the meetup, Toya? And DC? I might have to bring some of my friends with me. I might have to bring some of my friends with me. I might have to go and see what's happening out here in these streets. Make sure the Detroit still have wire stoplights. I don't know nothing about it. Yeah, we got, who don't got wire stoplights? Y'all don't got wire stoplights? All right, don't worry about it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Y'all crazy inside of the chat. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I might have to. Nixon 6? Nah, you out of your mind. I'm going to see you in DC, Azriel. Anyways, let's go ahead and head over to the next part of the show. What do we have? UPS layoffs? What we got going on? Oh, let's go to the truck drivers. Let's go to truck drivers. So now, for those of you that may not remember when we was having a conversation about the importance of you guys being able to read and write. Remember when I was telling y'all that y'all was going to have to be able to read and write? Well, Trump has now created an executive order that requires for truck drivers to be able to read and write and speak English. Aaron L says we barely survived yesterday in New York. That's interesting, Aaron L. What is the Bulls doing right now? What is the Bulls doing? Is anybody familiar with what the Bulls is doing? I think they fishing. They gone fishing. They on vacation. They spending time with their families at home. Anyways, shout out to all of my fellas that know how to read and write already. You're going to have to get a tutor if you want to continue to drive. No more. This is what's happening. Actually, you know what? Let me pivot on this front. Let me fast forward it a little bit. I think that he was speaking about it right here.
Learn English now. You have to.
What?
again, you need a new system. This goes back 25, 30 years. We're using the oldest technology.
We want to hear from our audience, but really
Yeah.
quickly, what's going on with the truck drivers? You're making them all learn English now? They have to.
Well, yeah. So, by the way, the truck drivers, I get more feedback from truck drivers.
Hey, do you know how you know that somebody is a fair weather fan? Aaron L says he's a Jimmy Butler fan. He didn't say he was a Bulls fan. He say, I'm a Jimmy Butler fan. People is bandwagoners. They gonna pick and choose all of a sudden. Oh no, I'm for the Golden State Warriors because I'm for Jimmy Butler. Man, stick with your team. Stick with your team. Stick with Chicago. Shout out to Lonzo Ball. He gonna probably be in the next Jello video.
Who are angry that there's other truck drivers who don't speak English. And so Barack Obama lowered the standard, so you got a slap on the wrist if you didn't speak English, where before they would immobilize your vehicle. Your semi would get parked if you couldn't speak English. We're going to go back to the pre-Obama era where if you can't speak English, by the way, this is dangerous.
The reason's because they can't read the road signs, right?
Well, there's road signs, or if you get stopped by law enforcement, you can't communicate. You can't, So we're going back to the old standard, and again, it's going to make our road safer.
All right,
the president.
So wait a minute. And I was unfamiliar with this until recently. I didn't know that you can even get a CDL. I didn't know that you could even get a CDL without a license. Did y'all know that? Are y'all familiar with the fact that people are driving without a license? Are y'all familiar with this? I'm blown away by it. I am absolutely blown away. I mean, without being able to speak English. How are y'all able to get on the road without being able to speak English? You can't read the stop. You can't read any of the signs. You can't communicate effectively. I know that y'all be on the radios and stuff like that inside of y'all truck. How are y'all able to get a license without being able to read and write English? How is that possible? Did y'all know that? That it's a lot of these truck drivers that's on the road without a license? The Trump administration recently signed an executive order. Let me see if I can bring up the executive order itself. Here it is. Here we go. So this is the executive order itself from the Trump administration requiring people to have a license, to be able to speak English. So this is it. Enforcing common sense rules of the road for American truck drivers. Now, if you can't read this because if you can't read and write, don't worry about it. I'm going to read it for you. All right? I'm going to be your translator. Even if you're an American citizen, but you still can't read and write, I'm going to read it for you. I'll be the kid that's at the front of the class that get us out of there early because we reading, all right? It says, by the authority invested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. See? If you, look, you watching this, you with your girl, you can't read good. Now she gonna be feeling some type of way about it because I'm out here showing off. You always gotta show off. You always gotta read good. I'm sorry. Now your girlfriend is embarrassed because y'all can't read good together. We gonna get there. America's truck drivers are essential to the strength. The G is silent. The G is silent as strength of our economy. All right. The security of our nation and the livelihoods. That's a big word. Of the American people. Every day, truckers perform the demanding and dangerous work of transporting the nation's goods to businesses, customers, and communities safely, reliably, and efficiently. Y'all ready? All right, here we go. Proficiency in English, which I designated as our official language in the Executive Order 14224 on March 1st. So a lot of y'all were asking a question when he did this executive order, and he said, Why is he designating English the official language of the United States of America? Well, now you get to see why. Because we are requiring people to meet the expectations of the official language of the United States of America, and it should be non-negotiable. He said non-negotiable safety requirement for professional drivers. They should be able to read and understand traffic signs, communicate with traffic safety, border patrol, agricultural checkpoints, and cargo weight limit station officers. Drivers need to provide feedback to their employers and customers and receive related directions in English. This is common sense, which is very interesting to me, because if you go into certain places in society of the United States of America, you can't even really survive or communicate effectively because they don't speak English. They speak Spanish. Spanish is the official second language of the United States of America in places like Miami, some places in Texas. Nah. If you go over there in Dearborn, they always go, hey, Habibi, Habibi. Real talk. There are places inside of the United States of America that you don't even have to know English to survive. It's people that's been in this country for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years that cannot even speak English, or at least they act like they can't. Goes on to say that's why the federal law requires that to operate a commercial vehicle, a driver must read and speak the English language sufficiently to converse with the general public. Should go without saying, right? To understand highway traffic signs and the signals in the English language, to respond to official inquiries, and to make entries on reports and records. How can you keep your records right if you can't even read and write English? Yet this requirement has not been enforced in years, and America's roadways have become less safe. My administration will enforce the law to protect the safety of American truckers, drivers, passengers, and others, including by upholding the safety enforcement regulations that ensure that anyone behind the wheel of a commercial vehicle is properly qualified and proficient in our national English language. All right? It is the policy of my administration to support American truckers and safeguard our roadways by enforcing the common sense English language requirement for commercial motor vehicle drivers and removing the needless regulatory burdens that undermine the working conditions of America's truck drivers. This order will help ensure a safe, secure, and efficient motor carrier industry. So he goes on to say within 60 days of the date of this order, this is the important parts. Within 60 days of the date of this order, the Secretary of Transportation shall identify and begin carrying out additional administrative, regulatory, or enforcement actions to improve the working conditions of American truck drivers. All right. So y'all got 60 days from April 28th, 2025 to get your English on. Drop down and get your English on. Drop down and get your English on. You have 60 days to get yourself together and get your English on. Drop down and get your English on. Drop down and get your English on. This is what truck drivers are now saying as a result of this executive order and how they feel about it.
Well, tonight, major controversy among truckers after an executive order is requiring them to pass English literacy tests.
The order puts specific focus on road safety. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor joins us from a truck stop in Davie with reaction.
A federal law requiring English proficiency for commercial drivers already existed. But according to President Trump, it had not been enforced in years. And he claims that made the roads less safe. Russell Rocha has been a truck driver for 17 years.
We need to open the door to opportunity for everybody.
While he says there is a need for drivers, Rocha sees the logic behind the executive order signed by President Donald Trump on Monday.
If you can't read or understand a certain sign that's a little dangerous, it could affect all of us.
The new order requires truckers to demonstrate proficiency using the English language before getting behind the wheel. According to the executive order, proficiency means drivers can read and understand traffic signs and communicate with traffic safety, border patrol, and agricultural checkpoints, as well as others.
Es una ley inefasta.
It's an awful law, Yoman Rivera told me.
En mis 15 años como camionero.
In my 15 years as truck driver, I never had an issue with English.
So wait. It's an awful law. Think about this for a second, guys. Your man Rivera said it's an awful law, and he didn't even say it in English. Your man Rivera said it's an awful law. It's an awful law for you to be required to operate a commercial vehicle across the road with other drivers and other truck drivers. And it's not a safety issue because you've been getting away with it for 15 years.
Rivera claims he recognized the signs and communicated with officers with his limited English. First off. But according to Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, there are documented cases where drivers' inability to read signs and speak the language may have contributed to a series of fatal accidents.
Yo, we have people over here that's been over here for 15 years that do not know the language, that can earn a decent living and be able to take care of their families. That, in my opinion, is insane. That is insane. There are people here that do not know the language and they are driving over the road. They have been for the last decade and a half and they don't speak English. They have a limited vocabulary and they are just going based off of the signs. They are focused on iconography. Shapes and iconography, they are not focused at all. Not even a little bit on the words. They don't even read words. I was in Miami and I lived there for 4 months. 4 months. And I was coming back like, you know what? I might have to learn Spanish just to be here. And I'm in the United States of America. Miami is literally in Florida in the United States of America. And I was thinking about adapting so that I can have a better experience and be able to fully embrace everything that Miami has to offer. I was thinking about being bilingual. Man, you know what? I might have to learn Spanish. Real talk. I just went to Mexico for a week over in the middle of Mexico. And I was like, I might have to learn the language because I need to know what's going on. How can you be here in the United States of America for 15 years and you don't know no English? You can't even talk to the reporter in English?
We have to watch out for lives. I mean, that's most important, right? It depends on how many people are affected and how many people decide to exit the industry because of this.
Rivera says he's already seen many truck drivers putting their trucks on sale. He also says the consumer is the one who will suffer. Rocha agrees.
It would affect the consumer by not picking up on time, by not delivering on time, or in between transit from shipping to receiving.
So U.S. Secretary of Transportation will begin taking action to see who is not complying with the requirements 60 days from yesterday. Drivers who are found not in compliance could be taken out of service.
So you guys got 60 days to figure it out or sell your truck and go back to where you came from. For all of my people that has been raised in the United States of America or was born in the United States of America, you got to get your reading up. You got to get your reading up. I told y'all a little while ago, what was that, about 2 weeks ago that we had this argument when I was saying it's important for y'all to learn how to read? Now look at you. Now you got 60 days. Now you got 60 days to figure it out. No more reading, no more just looking at the signs. No more looking at the iconography. You know what? That looked like a stop sign and it's red. Nope. And I know y'all gonna do it. I already know you're gonna do it. I know you're gonna meet the expectation. You know why? 2 reasons. Number one, when you start talking about the money, when you start talking about affecting somebody's money and they back, bagle, people start making adjustments. They figure it out. They make adjustments and they figure it out. That's the first reason. The second reason that I know you're going to figure it out because your favorite lot lizard is going to miss you. Lot lizard at, what's the name of the places? Lot lizard at truck stop 63 on the way to Idaho. They need their money and they know what time you coming and that's almost like your girlfriend. That's your girlfriend. Listen, you take a person's lot lizard away from them, they'll take your life. You mean they got to stay home? Heck no. They can't wait to get to truck stop 63 May even give her a nice place to sleep overnight. And Loves. Yeah, Loves. Loves. Favorite lot lizard hanging out at Loves. If she ain't there that night because she got sick and she had to go to the hospital, you be freaking out. Trying to extend your... You seen Gertrude? Anybody seen Gertrude? One thing about lot lizards is that they don't go missing. Somebody gonna find them. Somebody gonna find them. Listen, your mama, she may be decomposing. She may have got her butt kicked. You gonna tell her, hey, why you ain't left Eddie? Eddie's still hitting on you? You know what? I tried to get you together. You ain't doing a health check on your own mama. But Gertrude, that ain't got no teeth. Boy, where Gertrude at? Anybody seen Gertrude? Anybody seen Gertrude? She ain't got no teeth. All gums. Hey, I miss you. I miss you. What you doing, honey? Oh, what's going on? I was sick. I had to go visit my sister when I was just in the hospital. Girl, I thought something happened with you. I can't believe it. Don't ever have me waiting this long at Love's. I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. See, they not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. And see, they be doing what they want with Gertrude because they ain't got to see her until next week, and so they don't care. Give her a little tip, give her $4 extra. Y'all some nasty dudes. Shout out to Gertrude. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to the lot lizards keeping our truckers on the road. You know what I'm saying? Keeping our truckers on the road. Everybody got a job to do. Everybody got a job to do. That's why you see guys that keep going back to prison. I told y'all, listen, y'all think I'm playing. Guys that love to go to that ain't word. Every guy that you I've never seen. Man, I don't care nothing about going to jail. Man, take me to jail. They know where they going. He got a boyfriend in there. He got a boyfriend in there. Yeah, dog, I'm ready to crash out. I die for mine. He got a whole boyfriend, girlfriend up in there. And they love each other. And they be rubbing beards and bumping booties. sleeping back to front and spooning each other. You coming to visit him. He at home. You a visitor. He at home. He already got his conjugal visits. His conjugal visit is at... I mean, crying every time he leave jail. Don't you get out tomorrow? You think he happy to see you. He crying because he got to leave his boyfriend. Oh, his best eater is in jail. Anyways, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. His best eater is in jail. Oh, I gotta read the super chats. Y'all gonna let me read the super chats, or y'all want me to just go to the next story? He at home. He on vacation. He ain't got to worry about working. He got to worry about homelessness. Meet no expectations. You keep yelling at him. He trying to get back to jail. Oh, they sleeping front to front. my God. I love this show. I absolutely love this show. Make sure y'all hit the like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Tip to tip. Oh my God. I'm going to just go straight to the next story. All right. I ain't going to delay. I'm going to read the super chats afterwards. Oh man. Bussy buddies. Every time he come out of jail and he with you, he thinking about him. Make sure y'all hit a like, man. Let me go ahead and get to it. I want to get to this whole real estate thing. Florida condo owners are saying that they can't sell, and the real estate industry and the real estate market is really rough right now. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. I'm going to read the super chats in a minute, y'all.
All right, a big shift coming right in the heart of the spring housing market, something we haven't seen in quite a while. Diana Olick joins us right now with more. And what's the shift that we're seeing?
I keep talking to all of these guys in Atlanta that just got out of jail. Talking about he my best friend and we play in each other's clothes. It ain't going the way you think it's going to go.
Right now, Diana?
Well, Becky, it's prices. They are still gaining slightly, but they are slowing down quickly. And in several major markets, they are now lower compared with a year ago. Take a look at these numbers from Parcel Labs, which runs real-time price data. Miami, Atlanta, Tampa, San Francisco, Nashville, and Minneapolis are now negative year over year in prices. And Austin, a major pandemic migration market, is tanking.
I will tell you that a lot of people in Texas are moving. There are a lot, and when I say a lot of people in Texas are moving. A ton of people in Texas are moving. Why? People from California, it was a lot of people that moved from California over to Texas. They moved there because they tried to capitalize off of selling their home at the height of the pandemic, and they got record prices for their homes. And then also, they tried to move to a place where they felt like, yeah, I could deal with it being more conservative. However, I also prefer the idea that the price of living, the cost of living is lower than where I came from. And they didn't have to pay any taxes, any state income taxes. So a whole lot of people moved over to Texas, and one of the hotbeds for it was Austin. People moved from Texas over to Austin. That's why you hear the year-over-year changing, because everybody is trying to put their house on the market. And guess what? As crazy as it sounds, there is a lot of people that are moving back to California. You would not believe the amount of people that said, man, I tried it. I did it. I stayed here for 4, 5, 6 years, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. I tried my hardest, but I just can't get used to it. People from California, 99% of the time, they would rather be poor in California than do well in Texas. That's just the truth. That's the reality of it. People from California would rather live in California. Once they move out, they be like, man, I'm trying to get out of here. They would rather live in a shack on the beach and enjoy the weather and no bugs. They ain't got to deal with roaches. They might have to deal with a little doo-doo on the street, but they ain't got to deal with roaches. They ain't got to deal with more conservative policies. See, in Texas is different. Everything is spread out. Even when you go to Texas's biggest city, what is it, Houston? Man, Houston is so spread out. It take you an hour plus, depending on the traffic, to get from one side of the city to the other. The downtown ain't even popping in Houston. People don't go to downtown Houston. They go to the Galleria. It's so weird. Everything is weird. Everything is bigger. You got more bugs. The humidity is higher. Texas is different. Everybody not built for Texas. Everybody is not built for Texas. If you go down to Dallas, right, people in Texas, Dallas and Houston, they two different types of people. They both liberal, but then you're going to see a lot more sassiness down in Dallas. Dallas, they like sassiness. And then Dallas also is connected to Fort Worth. Fort Worth is right up the street from Dallas. And then You can't even go to they ain't even got no NFL team that's actually in Dallas. It's in wherever it is. I forgot what the name of the city is. Texas is different. All of Texas is different. I can't wait to go and visit San Antonio. I think I'm going to try to visit San Antonio maybe in May. I try to hit San Antonio in May. But a lot of people in California, they move back. Even if they move to Vegas, even if they move to Texas, a lot of times they try to move to Florida. They wind up going back to California. They can't take it. It's not the same. They don't feel like they at home. They're broken as a result of it.
Other large markets like Phoenix and Denver, they're right on the verge of being in the red. Now, another report from Redfin showed home sellers gave concessions to buyers in 44% of sales transactions in Q1 of this year. That's up from 39% a year earlier and just shy of the 45% record high at the start of 2023. Those include money toward repairs, closing costs, and or mortgage rate buydowns, but not price cuts. Now, something else in the March numbers. The median price of a newly built home was slightly lower than that of an existing home, and there is usually a price premium for new construction, so that's not normal. Part of this is builders lowering prices and offering more low-priced homes, and still a relatively tight and overpriced existing home market. Now remember, home prices are up over 50% in just the last 5 years, which again is something else not exactly normal. So
I ain't say I don't know nothing about San Antonio. I just want to go and visit there. I want to see what it's like.
Even with builders cutting prices and more supply coming on the existing home markets, buyers have hit the pause button right at the height of the all-important spring market. Becky?
Why do you think buyers are pausing? Does it have anything to do with mortgage rates, or is it more related to uncertainty and concern about what might be happening with their jobs?
It's all of the above. In fact, we were at an open house in Dallas yesterday, and I spoke with several buyers who said, you know, they like the house. There's plenty out there. They have the money to do it, but they're just hitting the pause button because they're nervous. They're nervous about what kind of other of their costs are going to go up due to inflation. They're worried about their jobs. They're worried about the broader economy, and they're saying, you know, we're out shopping, we're looking, we love it, just can't pull the trigger.
I guess.
So, you know, a lot of condo owners also are saying that they can't sell their homes down in Florida.
And spring kicks off the home buying season, but the market is soft this year. Home resales were down nearly 6% last month, the slowest March since 2009. Skylar Henry reports one of the hardest hit markets is Florida.
Myra Villalona is sitting on what she thought was real estate gold.
This is the master bedroom. And we redid the floors, the walls.
She bought this 2-bed, 2-bath condo near Fort Lauderdale in 2021 for $145,000, hoping to pounce on pandemic-era real estate prices.
This is really a great community to live in. It's just not an investment right now. No, it's not a good one, at least.
Villalona's condo has been on the market since last November. Despite spending $20,000 upgrading the kitchen and the bathrooms, she's seen virtually no potential buyers.
We lowered the prices twice.
Why is that?
Because it wasn't moving.
You might as well Airbnb it, baby girl, because I can just tell you right now, the worst thing that you can possibly do. Let me just tell y'all, and I've been saying this for years. Everybody that's been here for a while, you already know that I've been telling you this. The worst thing that you can do, is to go and buy a condo in Florida. Condos are a dime a dozen in Florida, number one. Number two, everybody trying to get rid of them. Number three, people hate homeowners associations. And number four, especially if it's in an older development, then you're going to have some costs associated with trying to bring it up to code, and they're going to spread that amongst all of the owners of the place. You should never, personally, I'm telling you, never, ever, ever, ever in your life. You can go rent, you can go vacation, you can go visit, you can do everything you want to do. Do not go and buy a condo in Florida. It's going to sound good. It's going to seem nice. You're going to seem like, oh, man, you need to do what you want to do. I'm telling you, I warned y'all before the market started collapsing. Everybody trying to move. Everybody trying to do the same thing. And now you got to drop the price and you get no traffic because your place look just like his place. And don't nobody want to pay them stupid association fees. It's stupid. It's so dumb. Do not buy a condo in Florida. I don't know how to tell y'all. You hear one out of my mouth? Do not buy a condo in Florida.
Lots of owners cannot sell because some buyers have been scared off from a surge in special assessment fees that are used to make safety upgrades to older condominiums. After a new state law passed following the partial building collapse of the Champlain Towers in Surfside in 2021, older buildings like Villalongas that are 3 stories or higher are now required to increase inspections and build up a reserve to fund restoration projects. The fees are paid by the homeowners, which can range in the tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It happened to me 3 times already. They changed the assessments.
When we're talking about dollars, what's changed?
Well, it used to be 20, and then they went to 35, and now I owe over 50.
That's $50,000 she now owes. Villalona says,
imagine you bought a condo and you're paying your association fees, and then the special assessment that they put on you in order to make sure that they bring the building up to code so that it's proof and it's older or it's hurricane proof and all of these other things in order to meet the expectation is $50,000 per special assessment per person. Why do you think they all trying to sell at the same time and ain't nobody coming over there to look at those places?
50.
That's $50,000 she now owes. Villalona says she isn't giving up on finding a buyer, but for now she's hoping to rent it.
Looking back on the decision that you made in 2021, do you think you would have still done it?
Probably not this one.
Brandon Burke says, AD, if I Airbnb it, is it still a bad investment? Yes. Yes. Listen, the one thing that you will never have a shortage of is places that is going to go on Airbnb in Florida. All right. You're going to have a ton of hotels, a ton of Airbnbs, and it's always going to be Airbnbs that's cheaper than yours, that look better than yours, in better locations. Don't do it, bro. Listen, don't do it. If you are going to Florida, all right, this is just a word of advice. This is my personal opinion. Take it for what you will, but I've been trying to tell people for a long time. I study the real estate markets everywhere. If you are going to Florida, all right, you are going to Florida, go have a good time, vacation. You can even do a 6-month lease or whatever you want to do across the winter. Do whatever you want to do. Have a good time. It is a great place to visit. Do not, and I'm just saying this to my bag chasers, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon tomorrow. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Do not buy anything in Florida. Do not buy, I'm going to talk like Gertrude right now, no teeth. Do not buy anything in Florida, okay? Don't buy condos in Florida. Not at the Airbnb, not as a place that you want to go and visit, you think you're going to retire to. Don't do it. You are going to lose a ton of money on your investment. I am telling you, okay? I don't care where you want to go. Jacksonville, Orlando, Miami, all of these places. Don't do it, okay? I can't be any more clear than that. Maybe you'll listen to Gertrude. Trying to tell y'all the truth so that y'all can be successful. Let me read these super chats. Noble Xavier says they can get non-domicile CDLs in certain asteroids. I don't know what asteroids are, but okay, I got you. I feel you. In certain states. Okay, so you meant to say certain states. Shout out to you, Noble Xavier. I appreciate you, big dog. 392Q says, funny enough, I'm at a truck weigh station right now here in St. Louis, and 3 Indians got their truck shut down because they couldn't speak English. Also, if it's an accident on the road, they can't relay it. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, that is very horrible. Latrell says, R&B manager in Massachusetts plead guilty for taking money to give customers Passing scores on both the passenger vehicle driver's license and the CDL tests. Wow. Chris Cunningham says, you are my top 3 trollers next to 50 and Trump. Jesse V says, my hubby, leg quarter trucker, her and I were over the road and had to deal with drivers, shippers, and customers that did not speak English. It was bad for business. Man, I can only imagine. I didn't even realize that y'all was dealing with that. Purple Haze says, if it's possible, can you survey the bag chasers for dates on future meetups? I'll miss this one. I'm getting to the bag. Hopefully I'll be at the next one. Well, I'm just going to announce to y'all where the next one is going to be at. Dang, should I say it right now? No, I want y'all to focus on DC. Because then you're going to be like, oh, man, no, I'm about to play for the... Nope. I want you to be at all of them. Purple Haze, I got you. 392Q says they also got these. Get a CDL in 2 days places as well. Really? Cheap teachings just to get a quick buck, as it took me 1 month for proper coaching and tests. Aaron L says, after tomorrow, y'all will be on vacation. Aaron is bitter. Don't worry about it, Aaron. Shout out to Lonzo Ball. Shanice says, over the road trucker here. I've been at the Michigan Secretary of State and seen one person speaking for 3 other Middle Eastern men. Secretary of State is to blame. Dang, that's crazy, Shanice. Swagitude in the building says, not a bad idea to require English for truckers. But what about English speakers who can't pass an English literacy test? It's the same thing. I think that they should be held accountable. Truck Bear 76 says they deliver over the border, then stay in America for weeks, taking loads from American truckers. There is no shortage. There's too many drivers right now and the market is bad. Well, then this is a good thing. This is absolutely a good thing. Mark the Guardian says, imagine driving through Japan not being able to read. Yeah, that'd be crazy. I don't even drive in other countries because I just be like, you know what? I'm going to just get driven around. No English equal lowball contract and companies love it. Well, Trump is putting a stop to that. Shout out to the truckers. Trump is looking out for y'all. Naima says, do you think it's a good idea to pursue egg donation? Is it morally questionable? I'd love to hear your perspective. Trying to make it through school. Egg donation. I didn't know that that was a thing. I'm going to be honest with you. This is the first time that I've ever heard of egg donation. I've never heard of that before. Have y'all ever heard of egg donation before? I've never heard of that. This is the first time that I've ever personally heard of egg donation. I don't think that is morally questionable if you have them. And I don't know what the healthcare ramifications are for it, but I don't see a problem with it at all. Y'all know anything about egg donations? I've never heard of that before. What do you make from it? Let me look that up real quick. Much can... Egg donors can earn a compensation ranging from $5,000 to $100,000 per donation cycle, with an average of around $10,000. This compensation can increase with repeat donations depending on the clinic or agency and may include coverage for medical, travel, and other related expenses. First-time donors earn between $6,000 and $10,000. Repeat donations, compensation can increase with each subsequent donation, potentially reaching $12,000 or more for repeat donors. Wow. Yeah, do it. Why not? So they giving y'all that much for y'all eggs? I'm seeing one person saying that they sold their eggs for $30,000 and it was a pretty long process. I don't know what the process is from a healthcare ramifications, like how much you down or something like that. But if y'all are basically able to push your eggs out for $5,000 to $30,000, if it don't keep you down for a long time, I don't really see what the problem is. Y'all saying I'm crazy? I'm learning about it right now. How am I crazy? Just being Tasha says, come on, Anton, really? Really what? You have to be under 30. Eggs cost way more than sperm, hence why women are valuable. Yes, I'm thinking Trini thought I was talking about eggs from a chicken. You have to have good genetics and health, and you can make bank. Wow, I'm gonna have to do a research on this. As of right now, look like a bag. Do you plan on having children in the future? Is it gonna affect you having? Hold on, wait. You look. Hold on. So y'all telling me now? Give me a little bit of rope here. Y'all telling me that y'all would go to Planned Parenthood to get rid of your kid after you then get the egg sperm filled, but we having a conversation about donating eggs? Look, until y'all tell me that y'all are destroying Planned Parenthood and you're no longer going to be eliminating your babies as a form of contraception, then I'm cool with egg donation. Until people tell me that they're no longer going to be going to abortion clinics. King Kong says you are only born with a certain amount of eggs. Be wise or have children first. Well, what if she don't want children? What if she don't want children? Y'all taking Plan C's now. Y'all ain't even tripping about it. Jerry says a woman's eggs are limited. We're born. Listen. It depends. I think it's circumstantial. I don't know, man. We might have to have this conversation on I'm about to do some research. We're gonna have this conversation on After Hours tomorrow. You got powdered eggs now, Cat? Like powdered milk. Oh, I have never heard of this before. Dame Sniff says your humanity is for sale. What do you mean y'all humanity is for sale? We ain't got no humanity left. We've already sold out. Bruh, y'all out here taking PrEP. Ain't nobody using a rubber. Everybody taking PrEP. Planned Parenthood is in every urban location in the world. Y'all humanity is y'all didn't even sell it. Y'all advocated for it. Y'all said we want to do this for free. They ain't even have to pay y'all for y'all humanity. So I ain't with it. I'm cool. I'm okay with that. As of right now, as far as what I know, I'm okay with it. Victor Williams says Anton Daniels is in full effect and I'm here for it. Spaces says, I bet lunch that the left can't wait to say some variation of Trump has issued an all-out attack on the American trucking industry imbeciles. Anton, please, I'm dying over here, please, says James. Shout out to James. Spaces says starting fires from rubbing beards is pure evil. Victor says time to end the show. Spooning in prison is crazy. Somebody got to hold you. Get cold at night. Got that body heat. Gertrude had to pick up her prescriptions, AD. Rashonda Blackwell. Shout out to Rashonda says, and I know a Gertrude. Stop it. Do she got teeth, though? You going to make me lose my good job. Whiskey P here says, Anton Sir Shalom. Did you say in regards to Florida, I told you so? Interesting. You have seen that for years, and now it catches up. Shout out to Whiskey Pierre. Just a brown girl in America says, absolutely not. You'll have babies running around you don't know. Sound like the black community today, right? Surgery process is crazy and risky. Well, I'm learning. I'll figure it out. You guys are awesome, as usual. We had another great show. You guys are awesome. Let me see what the weather is like. I might go to the show by myself. I ain't been to the show by myself in a while. What's the weather like? Oh, it's kind of chilly today. In the 60s. There will be no motorcycle riding today. Thank y'all for always holding us down. I hope y'all enjoy yourselves. If you have not already, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Join the Patreon tomorrow. All right? Shout out to the Dirt Mercs. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.